So the Joseph Kony's lawyers address to Uganda happened, and everything you must know. As the International Criminal Court, as ICC prepares for a pivotal moment in the long-running case against Lord's Resistance Army, LRA leader Joseph Kony, his legal team has come forward with a strong and deliberate message to the Ugandan public and the international community. With the confirmation of charges hearing set for September 9, 2025, the defense lawyers are declaring full readiness to represent the rebel leader in absentia. This video captures everything you must know from their recent press address in Kampala, revealing critical insights into the legal, cultural, and political complexities surrounding one of the most infamous rebel leaders in African history.
We have had to get our heads around what it means to be lawyers who have no client. And let's get the elephant out of the room straight away. We haven't met Joseph Kony, we have no contact with Joseph Kony, and so we don't know what his attitude would be to these charges. And that presents us with a particular difficulty in conducting his case.
The defense team, led by British lawyer Peter Haynes, clarified that the upcoming hearing is not a trial. It is a confirmation of charges, a pre-trial process in the ICC system aimed at solely at assessing whether there are substantial grounds to believe that Joseph Kony committed the alleged crimes. At the end of the process, no one is going to be found guilty, no one is going to be sent to prison, and no one will receive compensation, Haynes emphasized. He underlined that this is a procedural step to determine whether the evidence presented in paper is strong enough to justify moving forward to trial. There will be no live witnesses, no dramatic courtroom scenes, just arguments over the validity of the evidence submitted by the prosecution.
The ICC has not succeeded in finding and arresting Joseph Kony, despite long-term efforts, significant efforts, including by US military personnel. Joseph Kony remains at large.
Peter Haynes, who was appointed by the ICC to lead Kony's defense during this confirmation stage, revealed that he has assembled an 8-member team, including 2 Ugandan lawyers and 3 specific understanding of Kony's local culture. While some critics have questioned Haynes' appointment, suggesting a lack of cultural knowledge or legitimacy, he responded firmly, "We have covered the cultural aspect with 3 councils who understand Kony's local area. But just understanding somebody's background is not enough. You also need to know how to work with international legal systems," he said. Haynes argued that a multicultural team provides a balanced approach, combining local knowledge with global legal expertise. He also revealed that over 80 lawyers applied for the position, and while others were disappointed not to be selected, he intends to focus on the case, not on defending his appointment.
What you will see on September the 9th and 10th is lawyers arguing about whether the evidence on the papers is good enough to sustain the charges. And bear in mind that those are the same charges, really, that have justified the arrest warrant being issued against Mr. Joseph Kony. So, even if these charges are confirmed, the position of Joseph Kony is completely unaltered. He will still be subject to an arrest warrant.
Another key concern addressed was a direction of communication with Joseph Kony if it's available. Since he remains at large, the lawyers have had no contact with him and must proceed without his personal input. We would ordinarily be talking to him in detention and getting his input about the charges, explained co-counsel Kate Gibson. However, we have talked to him. We will, however, represent his interest. This raises significant questions about due process and representation. Yet under Article 61 2b of the Rome Statute, a confirmation of charges hearing can proceed in absentia if the suspect has evaded justice for an extended period.
Odd other people who applied for this job, I happened to get it. And I'm aware that other people were upset, not just African lawyers. American lawyers were upset about it, French lawyers were upset about it, because they all thought they should have got the job too. It's not my fault I got it. But in my view, I think we've assembled a team which covers all the bases.
Gibson took the time to walk Ugandans through the historical timeline that led to the ICC's involvement in the Kony case. In 2004, the government of Uganda officially referred Joseph Kony and the LRA to the ICC, citing its inability to arrest or locate him and requesting international assistance. This referral prompted a formal ICC investigation which led to the issuance of an arrest warrant in 2005. Despite assistance from US military forces, Kony has remained at large for 2 decades, a reality that continues to frustrate both victims and international observers. The primary reason for the Ugandan referral to the ICC was to help in finding and arresting Joseph Kony. Gibson reiterated. In 2023, given the prolonged inability to locate him, the ICC formally allowed the confirmation of charges hearing to proceed in his absentia. Perhaps the most critical part of the address was the challenge to the supremacy of the ICC. Several members of the defense team emphasized that Uganda's legal system is fully capable of handling such cases. The ICC is not superior to domestic courts, said Christopher Costner, a member of the defense team. It is actually secondary to domestic courts. He pointed out that the Rome Statute, which established the ICC, only grants the court jurisdiction from July 1st, 2002 onward, and only when domestic legal systems are unwilling or unable to prosecute. Lawyer Liliana Tim went further, explaining that Uganda has since established its own International Crimes Division, that is ICD, within the High Court system. This division has jurisdiction over genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, the same categories under which the ICC is pursuing Kony. If he is arrested and returned to Uganda, the International Crimes Division can happily try him. Atim said the statement is likely to reignite the long-standing debate about the relevance and reach of international courts in African legal matters. With Uganda having built its own competent mechanisms, many are asking why Kony should be tried in The Hague at all. One issue that surfaced repeatedly was whether non-African lawyers like Peter Hennis truly understand the cultural nuance of the region affected by Kony's atrocities. Hennis acknowledged that this concern, but dismissed the idea that cultural knowledge alone is sufficient. Understanding the cultural background is important, but you also need to know how to work the ICC system, he said, "We have both lawyers familiar with the local context and those who understand international procedures. This reinforces the idea that global legal challenges require hybrid solutions, bridging cultural insight with procedural mastery." One of the key takeaways from the address is that no verdict will be reached in September. This is not the trial of Joseph Kony, and nothing like he will be found guilty or not guilty, but rather the process that determines whether the prosecution has enough evidence to move forward to trial. Even if the charges are confirmed, Kony will still remain a wanted man, not a convicted one. The burden will then shift to arresting him, which remains a monumental task after 20 years of evasion. The statements made by Kony's legal team underscore a growing assertion of Uganda's legal sovereignty. With functioning domestic courts capable of prosecuting international crimes, Uganda is positioning itself as more than just a referral state. It's a country seeking justice on its own terms. This also sets a precedent for other African nations grappling with post-conflict justice. The message is clear. International systems may be welcomed, but justice does not have to be outsourced. As the ICC moves toward the confirmation of charges hearing for Joseph Kony, his defense team has made it clear they are prepared, strategic, and ready to represent a client they have never met. Their address to Uganda paints a picture of a case that is not merely legal, but also deeply political, cultural, and symbolic. The eyes of Uganda, especially the Acholi, and indeed the world, will be watching closely. What happens next may not just determine the future of Joseph Kony's case, but also the evolving balance of power between international and national justice systems.